Hi everyone, Artie Tambarambaa, also known as Tammy Klinger, here to share another bright art journal page with you today using lots and lots of the new Art by Marlene goodies. As many of you know, I love using rainbows in my creations, and this one is based on a rainbow inspired by one of those gorgeous fabulous women in from the new release. So I've used one of the fabulous women. I've also used the washi tape with the black and white circles and scallops. I have used a couple of stamp sets. So I've used one called the Party Elephant, which is this one here, and the one before that was Magic Potion, and also the new Stamp It, which is a bit of a fave of mine. Then I've used black and white paint, sticky glue, and then I kind of went with these colours. So I've got Happy, Boom and Hot Pink, and then I have got some blues. We'll go through the pinks first and purples. So I've got Ballet, Punk and Royal, and then Mermaid and Smurf. So a lot of these are my go-to colours. So I've also used the Perfect Size Journal in the new smooth paper. So I just grab a page out of there. And then I take inspiration, as I said, from one of those gorgeous girls. They are just so fun and so fabulous. And she kind of jumped out at me straight away with the little jumper that she's wearing with a rainbow on it. And I thought, perfect, I can take the colours from what she's wearing and create a rainbow. So that's basically where I started. So I've grabbed a couple of the artist sponges as well. And I begin just by putting paint down with some of those. So as I said, I'm taking inspiration from her rainbow on her jumper. So it starts with yellow, and there's some like oranges and apricots going out to blues, and then a deep purple. So I began with Happy, and I'm just actually using the artist sponge tip of it, the smaller edge, to blend some of these colours. So I know that I'm going to add some detail to the top of these, so I'm not too worried about the blending and how it's looking. I'm really just trying to get that colour down, and that sort of big rainbow I'm kind of making a narrow but tall one because that's based on the page size that I am using. So yeah, I started with Happy, and then I think I went to Boom, which is one of the neons, so you can see it's a lot more translucent. And then I used some Ballet and a bit of Mermaid. Now I'm coming in with some Smurf. At this point, my rainbow colours were getting narrower, so I changed to a brush, and I just kept going with a brush at this point. So that then is Punk, and I'm making some of them a little bit wider. And then this is the Deep Royal, which is a gorgeous colour. Every now and then I pop my little girl there, make sure I'm happy with how it's looking. And so yeah, this has come together fairly quickly, this part. It's just really getting that background down. So I am going over the neon one a little bit more, just because it is quite translucent compared to the others. So it just needs a couple of layers of that. Now I just give it a dry off, and I've pulled out the Stamp It stamp set. So what I'm doing is just some mark making in the different colours of the rainbow. So from Stamp It, I used one of the dotty circles, and I used one of the stars, and I just repeated that through one colour of each part of the rainbow. And now I'm playing with the Magic Potion one, and there's a really sweet little flower in there. And so I decide we need a bit of white on that really deep purple. So I have stamped it with just clear emboss ink, and I am now putting white emboss powder and flicking it off, tipping it back into my tube, and now I will heat emboss set it. So the white, when you do it with emboss powder, it's really bold, really strong white, and that's what I wanted. So now I come in with some of the leftover paint colours that I've still got sitting on my palette, and just do a few mark makings. So I've done a little bit of yellow on the blue. I'm also using some of the colours straight from the tube, and I love that Marlene's paint comes in these tubes, so you have almost like a little pen nib at the end. That's really fine. So it allows me to do dots and, you know, scribbles and bits and pieces. So I'm using it straight from the tube quite often. I want this rainbow to look a bit whimsical and not perfect. I want it to look like it's been created and sort of whacked onto the page. So I don't want it to be completely perfect. So I wasn't sure at this point what I was going to do with the top part, but I ended up putting a layer of, I'm pretty sure, I actually think this is the neon pink, which is funky, I think, that I have put there. And then I've put a little bit of Mermaid, and then I've added the happy again to the top. So that takes the rainbow all the way up. I'll just dry it all off. Some of it takes a little while to dry just because I've used paint straight from the tube, so it is quite a bit thicker. And now I'm just coming in with some paint pen. So I'm starting with a white gel pen and just doing a few scribbles and mark makings, and I'm going around some of the dots that I've created, and I'm adding a few extra scribbles in here and there. So it's really just playing this part. So you can do as much or as little as you like. It's actually quite fun and relaxing adding all those bits and pieces in. So now I grabbed the new washi tape in the black and white with the sort of scallopy, and I decided to put it along the bottom. I did think about putting it along the top, but I changed my mind. So I've just popped it along the bottom, and I think she'll look good sitting upon that. Now I'm thinking, what else can I do? And I had that party elephant stamp set out because I thought I'd like to use that. And I saw the little bunting on there, and I thought, well, that would look really cute because she's got a crown on and she's kind of the queen of rainbows. I thought maybe she's the queen of, you know, parties and rainbows. So I also very recently celebrated a milestone birthday. And so, you know, a party was on my mind. So this is where the page sprang from. And what I'm doing now is I stamped 2 rows of those buntings onto some Marlene cardstock, and then I'm just using colours that are in there. So I'm using the hot pink neon, I'm using the orange neon, I'm using some Mermaid, and did I use a little bit of Ballet? No, I think I just kept with those ones. And I just did colour combinations, just using a little bit of water with the paint, like put a little bit of water on my brush and then just started colouring and mixing them all up. So now I've come in with some colour pencils and I'm just deepening up some of those colours. So I'm sort of thinking about how bunting hangs from the top of the triangle down to the point. So I'm sort of putting the shading more towards the higher end of, so the flat end of the triangle. I hope that makes sense. And just letting it get lighter as it comes down. It's probably really hard to see on the screen, but hopefully with the close-ups at the end, you'll be able to see a little bit of shading with that. So now it's time for me to just fussy cut, and this part's pretty boring for you to watch, but I'm basically just trimming each of these out. I do decide to leave a little white edge on each of them, and that's purely because my background is actually really busy and there's a lot going on, and I just think because I'm using the same sort of colours, they will just disappear into the rainbow. So those little bits of white edging will just help them to stand out a little bit. So once they're all trimmed down, I then work out where I want my girl, and I'm just putting her not in the centre. I want her just to be to the side of the centre because I know that I want to add a quote, and so I need to leave some room for that. So now I am looking for some string, and I found this black and white twine, and I thought that would be perfect to go with bring in the scallops. And I'm really just letting it, you know, playing around a bit, but just letting it fall, excuse me, a bit naturally over the page with a few curves and twists, so it looks like sort of bunting that's blowing in the wind, I guess. So I'm just sticking that down. Oh, excuse me. I'm just sticking it down using the sticky glue, and this dries clear. So although it goes on white, which is great because you can see where you've put it, it will dry clear. So it, you know, you can make a bit of a mess and it you know, you can't see it. So I'm just kind of randomly popping them here and there onto the background, and I do just glue them on using just the sticky glue, and I'm actually mainly putting the glue on the larger part of the triangle. I'm not putting it right down the bottom because I plan to sort of fold them up and give them a bit of dimension afterwards. You could actually adhere these with foam tape so that they sit up off the page, and that would help them stand out that little bit more as well. But I ended up, I think, under the pressure of pressing record and go, I just kind of stuck them straight down. So then I've stuck my girl down, and then I found this quote that says, "Don't let anyone treat you like regular glue, you're glitter glue." And that comes from her latest sticker quote set. Marlene's always look fabulous, and this look fabulous, they sound fabulous, they just suit all of her creations. Anything you create, there's a perfect quote to go with it. So I guess that quote sort of made me think, time to add some glitter. So I've used both in the special effects glitter glue. I've used the silver, no, I've used the diamond, which is the cleary one, and the gold. And so I placed gold all over the yellow at the top and in the yellow centre of the rainbow. And then I just placed some of the diamond here and there. Now, when this glue goes on, as you can see, it looks like a bit of a mess because it's carried, the glitter is carried in that glue, same as the same as the sticky glue, and so it is quite cloudy, but it does dry clear and you will just be left with the glitter, I promise. So I did feel like I had it a little bit thick, so I'm just using a brush to tone it down a little bit and just to spread it so that it's quite smooth. But yeah, it does feel like, oh, what have I done? But it will dry and just leave your glitter and just a bit of a sheen to your page. So some of my colours in the rainbow are going to be left just as they are with the paint, but quite a few of them have glitter all through the background. So I'll leave you with some close-ups, and hopefully it helps you see the background a bit more. It's really hard to capture the glitter on camera, but it is really quite sparkly and it gives an extra dimension, which I really like. So I'll leave you with the close-ups and so you can see the bunting. But thanks so much for joining me. I hope you're having fun playing with the new products if you've been able to get your hands on them. And of course, as always, leave me a comment.